Give me this. I want that.
Amen.
Why do you want to plant so many seeds? Because I got them in the problems.
No.
And I need harvest. It's the principle. I'm not saying that you got problems that more than everybody else, but yeah, I got something my seed need to go to work on.
Amen.
Amen.
You say it that way. Amen. So between the problem and the harvest, the seed. So she said, bring me that check. Bring me the check. They brought the check. She paid for it and everything. We were leaving out. And I said, how much was that? We were riding on the interstate. I said, how much was that at the restaurant? You know, I'm big on receipts. Amen. I'm still working this stuff that we've been teaching about. I'm still working. I'm big on receipts. So how much that was? And she said it was such and such after tip. It's okay. How much it was before tip? I said, oh. So you always tip? She said, I always tip like that. I always tip at least 20%. I said, that's good. That girl trying to plant seeds everywhere.
I heard that. That's good.
Somebody say amen. Amen. You know what my goal is? My goal is to get to the point where we shift from 10 to 11 to 12 to tithing. The 10, if it's that hard for you to give the 10, it's going to be that hard to give the 10 when the 90 grow. So you can quit saying, when I get more money, I'm going to tithe. Stop it. Now, it's going to be harder. You can't sow $200 from the 2,000. Then you're not going to be able to sow the 2,000 from the 20,000.
Oh, yeah.
The bigger, the more commas, the bigger the seed becomes. But the seed will never be bigger than the harvest. Never. Somebody say never. Never. Never, baby. Never. Glory to God. So watch it. Watch it. Most people struggle with it. You got Luke 5? Now remember this. I said that most people know what the problem look like, right? And they know what the harvest look like, right? All right, we need to find a seed. Watch what it says in verse 1. And it says, and it came to pass that as the people pressed upon him to hear the word of God, they stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw two ships standing by the lake, but the fishermen were gone out of them, and they were washing their nets. And he entered into one of the ships, which was Simon's, and prayed him that he would thrust out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the people out of the ship. And when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep, and let down your nets for a draught. And Simon answering said unto him, watch the problem, Master, we have toiled all night and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. And when they had done this, they would enclose a great multitude of fishes, and their net brake, and they beckoned unto their partners, which were in the other ship, and that they should come and help them. And they came and filled how many ships? Both ships, until the ships began to do what? Amen. Now remember, that's the same one that was in the same lake that couldn't catch a fish all night. This all night fishing, he couldn't catch one. Now all of a sudden, they got so much fish that they called their partners and say, bring your boat over here. And both of their boats begin to sink because they got too many fish. Do you see what I'm saying? The problem was, let's identify the problem. I told you, most people can identify the problem and identify the harvest, but we can't pick out the seed. So watch what happened. The problem was, we can't find fish. You can't catch none. Somebody say no fish.
No fish.
That's a problem. You don't have no food. You don't believe that's a problem? Open your refrigerator. Open your cabinet and don't let them be there. And your kids hungry. Ooh, y'all quiet on that part. Somebody say that's a real problem. You ain't seen people that get hungry, start acting different. My wife said that about me. She said, you need a Snicker because you're not yourself when you're hungry. Yeah, your nerves get worked up easily. You get frustrated and aggravated easily. Amen. It's a problem. We see the problem, right? Watch the harvest. 2 ships are sinking now of a boatload of fish. That's the harvest, right? Let me show you where the seed is. Come on, let's go back to the seed. Let's find the seed. Let's go back up there. Verse 3. And he entered into one of the ships, Verse 2, and he saw two ships standing by the lake, but the fishermen were gone out of them, and they were washing their nets. And he entered into one of the ships, which was Simon's, and he turned to him and he said this, thrust out a little from the land. There go your seed. The problem was they had no fish. The harvest was they had 2 boatloads of fish. But we didn't see the seed. Yeah. When he walked in the ship and he says, move out a little bit, and he began to teach from that ship, he now has turned his ship into a seed. See, you might not have money all the time to put in the ground, but you might be able to give somebody a ride.
Yeah.
Amen.
Ooh, what time? Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Watch the strategy. Remember, the stratagem is this. It's an ambush. It's a turn of events. It's a undisclosed, unrevealed. It's a move that the enemy ain't know was going to happen. See, you thought I was going to struggle with catching fish till they gave up, they're discouraged. They're going to wash their nets for the day. We're washing our nets. We're done. And Jesus walked in the boat and he says, all right, thrust out a little bit. Let me use your ship as a seed. And after he used the ship as a seed, the turn of events, he said, now let down your nets. He could have said, thank you for letting me use your ship. How much you want me to pay you for that? No. That ain't how it worked. Because you had a problem. And what I'm going to do about the problem? I'm going to sow a seed. And what's going to happen when I sow a seed? I'm going to get a harvest. Glory to God. So he said this. Thrust out a little bit. Then after he got there, he said, now look. He said, hold up, I got too much fish. Y'all come back. Bring your nets back. Hurry up, come help me. I can't hold everything I'm getting from what I did. All I did was let him use my boat. But using your boat was a seed. Okay, let me go. 1 Kings 17. 1 Kings 17. 1 Kings 17. Y'all wanted me to teach it. I feel better. So much better. 1 Kings 17. Turn it real quick. Turn it real quick. Somebody says the turn of events. It's the strategy. It's the strategy. Between the problem and the harvest will always be the seed. We can identify the problem. We can see the harvest. We know where we want to go. But we haven't been able to identify the seed. I ain't going to let nobody use my boat. I don't know them like that. It ain't like he knew Jesus. Now, it ain't like Jesus walking around. He had a mega ministry where he was on TV and he was selling miracle spring water and oil and stuff like that. He wasn't doing that. So it ain't like they knew him. He was Joseph's boy, and then Joseph, they didn't really know Joseph like that. Joseph was struggling with Jesus. So it's not like people would say, oh, you don't know Jesus. You can use my boat if you want to. Picture a man just walk out of nowhere and just say, hey, take me down the road in your car. You need a ride. That's what happened to Peter. He just walked in the boat. And Peter said, all right, I don't see what you want to do. You trust out a little bit. Jesus started preaching. He was like, hey, you got here a pretty good preacher. Yeah. Jesus turned to him and he said, let down your nets. He was like, no, master, listen to me. I know you're a rabbi, so I'm going to call you master. Master, listen to me. I've been trying to catch fish all night. I can't get it. There's no fish to catch right now. But I'm going to do it at your word because you told me to. I don't understand it. I'm just going to obey it. He let down the nets and he began to reap the rewards of it. You won't get the rewards of obeying as you put your seed down if you won't have the courage to do it. So watch this. 1 Kings 17, verse 8. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon. Now let me tell you what's going on. There's a famine in the land. Elijah hadn't eaten. The widow, everybody's starting to lose food and everything in the land. And the famine is at Elijah's word. He's the cause of the famine. So watch this. He shows up, verse 9. Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow there to sustain thee. I commanded a widow there to sustain thee. You got it? Amen. Verse 10. So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, a widow woman was there gathering of the sticks. And he called unto her, and he said unto her, just a stranger walking up, just like it was with Peter, and said, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, I ain't got no problem, I can get you a little water. I got that. He called unto her, and he said, bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thy hand. Bring me some bread, and bring me something to eat. That's where we got a problem, Peter. Elijah. We got a problem now. I got water to share. Watch the next verse. Verse 12. And she said, as the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. She said, we're about to eat our last meal. We don't have enough to share. Sometimes you can misidentify your seed because you view it as your last. And she said, I don't have, and she didn't say I don't have any meal or oil. She said, I only have enough for me and my boy to eat and die. After this will be our last meal. We out of stuff. We don't have any money. We don't have nowhere to help. We ain't got none. I'm a widow. My husband ain't here. I mean, there's a lot going on. Man, listen, this is our last meal. We're about to die. And because she's about to talk herself out of the harvest. And watch what Elijah said, verse 13. And Elijah said unto her, quit being scared. Fear not. Go and do as I said. But make me therefore a little cake. All right, let me help you out. Watch how this works. Notice when Jesus stepped in Peter's boat, he first had to use the boat. Then the harvest came. And now Elijah shows up, and he's saying, all right, woman, we're going to take care of you, but you're going to give me something to eat first. Your seed always have to become first. If your seed don't become, you're not going to be able to sow it because everything else will get in the way of your seed. You got it? So watch what he said. He said, make me some first and bring it to me. After make for thee and thy son. Verse 14. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail until the day that the Lord sendeth rain on the earth. And she went and did. Somebody say she obeyed. Although it didn't make sense. And did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat how long? Now she was on her last meal when he met her. I'm trying to tell you a time turn of event. I'm trying to show you a strategy. She was on her last meal when he met her. Oh, y'all with me right now? This worked. Josh, she was on her last meal when she met him, Chris. But there was a maneuver, a sudden, undisclosed maneuver. There was a stratagem God was using. Amen. Remember the word of the Lord to Elijah. He says this, I have commanded a widow woman to sustain you. In other words, we would have walked over there looking for somebody that had more than enough to keep me fed for the time I needed to stay there. So when he ran into somebody that only got enough for today, and after this, they're going to go ahead and prep and die. It don't look like what you said, Lord. This can't be the one. Somebody say it don't look like it. So watch this, Pastor Oliver. This is what he did. He said this. He said, it don't look like it, but this is what I want you to do. He says, now, ask her for something to eat. And she said, oh no, I don't have enough to feed you. I only got enough to eat some water. You're asking for too much now. He said, listen to me. Don't be afraid. Do what I tell you to do. Go fix you something to eat, but first fix me something first. And then after she did it, now she walked off saying, I don't know if this is good. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But that's what she was saying on her way to the stove. What you think she was saying 7 days afterwards and meal and oil was still showing up? See, you can't let what people say on your way to the stove change your mind about the seed. Because on your way to the stove, there's a judgment moment. There's a moment, a decision-making moment. There's a moment on your way to the stove that is not going to make sense, but you're going to have to decide to put it in the ground anyway. Because what you listen to on your way to the stove will also determine what you're going to say many days after.
Come on, come on.
So watch that last scripture, verse 16. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which spake by Elijah. Turn to Ecclesiastes 11 real quick. I know I'm on borrowed time now. Amen. Real quick. Oh, this has been good. Chris, where's that microphone at? That microphone at? Ecclesiastes. You got it, say I got it. I don't have it. Hold on. It's the strategy of a seed. What am I going to do about the problem? Then what's going to happen when I sow a seed? That's the turn of events right there. When did the thing turn around? When I sowed the seed. It was an undisclosed maneuver. Amen. It was a move you didn't expect. The enemy didn't expect that. When you got Ecclesiastes 11:4, watch what it says. Read it out loud with me. King James, read it out loud with me. It reads, he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. Minister Ingrid, I want you to come up here for me real quick. Real quick. I want you to read this highlight. This is the amplified version of that same scripture, 11:4. Read that highlighted version. Read it loud into the mic if you can.
He who watches the wind, waiting for all conditions to be perfect, will not sow.
Stop right there. Read it again.
He who watches the wind, waiting for all conditions to be perfect, will not sow seed. And he who looks at the clouds will not reap a harvest.
Can I tell you what it's saying? You can keep, watch what he's saying. You can keep waiting on the perfect time to sow the seed. You ain't gonna find one. You're never gonna have a perfect time to sow the seed. So if you wait on a perfect time to sow it, you ain't gonna never sow it. And then watch it. And he who watch the clouds will never reap the harvest. And you wait on more rain to come so that more can grow before you sow, you will never get it. So if you sit there waiting, saying, I ain't got it right now. I ain't gonna be, man, I wish I could, God. I ain't got it right now. I ain't got it on me right now, Lord. No, if you have that attitude, then you will never get a harvest. Amen. I didn't make that up. She just read that in scripture. Somebody say amen. Amen. Now, I told you I was going to prove to you your seed will help protect your relationship. Did I say that? Yeah. Turn to Malachi 3. Turn that real quick. You laughing at me, Chris? Told God I ain't got it on me right now. Yeah, my bad, Lord. Oh, I've been there. I've been that type of Tyler before. When you have good intentions to catch him on the next check. I've been there. I mean, your heart is, I'm talking about your heart is all, I mean, with pure intentions. You really believe you're going to do that. Man, I'm going to have to do it next time, man. I ain't going to forget either. Next time come and then, before you know it, you're 3 weeks behind on putting seed in the ground. We want bags of apples. But we fall in love with the seed, the apple seed. Malachi 3. Would you say, Dr. King, thank you? Amen. You right? Man, I was, he helping me too. Amen. See, is it changing the way you see the seed now? Amen. It's changing. Now, I can't afford to keep this in my pocket. Hey, say it again. Confirmation. You put this thing in the ground. What are you walking around with that in your pocket for? What are you walking around? Okay, let me show it to you in scripture. What I said, Malachi, what?
3.
Verse 4. You got it? Watch this first, lady. Malachi 3, verse 4. You got it? Say, I got it, Bishop. Watch what it says. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord. Listen to what God is saying. God is saying, I want you to offer something that I will enjoy and rejoice in. I want it to be according to my word. So when I give you the instruction to do it, I want you to obey it, although you might not understand it. It says, then will the offering. We're talking about an offering. Somebody say a seed. Come on, say it. We're talking about a seed. That's right there in verse 4. We're talking about a seed, right? We're talking about an offering is a seed. Come on, somebody say we're talking about a seed. Watch this. In verse 5. Watch what it says in verse 5. Now that we're talking about the seed. And links verse 4 and 5 together. We're talking about a seed. And I will come near to you to judgment. I will be, watch this. I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers. Listen to what he just said. All these people that's trying to release bad words on you. We got to get the seed part. Verse 4. We got to get verse 4 down first. You put the seed right. You get the seed thing right. Watch what I do. I'll be a swift. I will quickly show up on the scene and say, you ain't going to be able to stop her now. I didn't make that up. It's right there. I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers. And watch this. And even if you got a spouse that's starting to act crazy and don't know how to stay in their own house, watch this. You put a seed in the ground and watch what I do. I show up and deal with the adulterers as well. God deal with his heart. Deal with her heart. Don't worry about it. I deal with it. You put something in the ground. And all of a sudden you have them coming to you repenting and saying, I'm sorry, I want my marriage.
Amen.
Y'all don't want me. Y'all don't want me to teach. Y'all don't want me to teach. Y'all want me. Watch this. And then also these people that's lying on you.
Yeah.
Somebody say that's what the seed doing.
That's what the seed.
You hear me, Josh? Watch this next part.
Yeah.
And against those that oppress the hireling in wages, the widow, I take care of her. The fatherless, I take care of them. And turn aside the stranger from the right and fear not me, says the Lord of hosts. For I am the Lord and I change not. Therefore the sons of Jacob are not consumed. Skip to verse 8. Watch this. Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, how have we robbed thee in tithes and in offerings? You are cursed with a curse. You have robbed me, even this whole nation. But this is what I want you to do. Bring all your tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. Prove me now herewith, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that there shall not be room, pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. I say open up, open you the windows of heaven. I still reading it wrong with that. You're right. Listen to what he said. He said, your seed will turn things around in your house. Miss Rose, you know that truck you've been believing for?
Yes.
That van you've been believing for?
Amen.
Amen. Glory to God. Don't worry about how small. Don't worry about how small the seed is. Between the no vehicle and the vehicle is a seed.
A seed. Amen.
What you gonna do about not having a vehicle?
Sow a seed.
Well, sow a seed. What's gonna happen when you sow a seed?
Get a harvest.
I'm gonna get a harvest. Will y'all hear me? Watch what he said. So he says this. He says this. He says, listen, I want to turn this thing around for you, Josh, but this is what I'm going to have to do. I am going to have to cause your heart to turn towards sowing so I can pour out on your life. Now, let me pull it up for you. Miss Deborah, come here for a minute. I had Minister Ingrid read. Now I want you to read. I want you to read. I want you to read. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get it for you. Hold on, Miss Deborah. Let me get it for you. Get it for you. This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. I want you to read. I'm going to tell you what I want you to read. Verse 10, since it's all jumped together. I want you to start at. I want you to start at bring your full tithe. I want you to start right there. Read it out loud for them. Watch what it says. This is the Message Bible of Malachi 3:10. Watch what it says.
Bring your full tithe to the temple treasury, so there will be ample provision in my temple.
Listen closely.
Test me in this and see if I don't open up heaven itself to you and pour out blessings beyond your wildest dreams.
It didn't just say that, did it? Watch what it just said. If you will commit to the strategy of the seed, your dreams won't be big enough. Let's find an off day. Let's find a day we don't have nothing to do. That's a day that we can get away for one night. Let's drive to Houston. Let's go sit down in a Bentley coupe. But let's just go sit in it and just dream. And God is going to say, that ain't even big enough. People jumped all down Jesse the Planet's throat. Because he said, I'm believing God for a plane. And then he gave everybody else an opportunity to put something in the ground. You want to ask people to help you buy a plane. That's because you viewed it as buying. He gave everybody else, all of his partners, an opportunity to put something in the ground. And because they saw it as, hey, we ain't going to buy you no plane. A plane? See, here's the problem with that. Here's the problem I got with that. I'll go ahead and close out with that. Here's the problem I have with that, First Lady. This is why I struggle with it. I struggle with that real bit. Because you had some big name ministers from our community. Our kind of people. Black people. That was coming on there it was disheartening. It was like, come on, man, you got to be more mature than that to get on social media and just call out this man by name and talk about him like that and do everything like that. He's a part of the body of Christ. Amen. You don't do that publicly. But then I realized something. Small dream people. See, they got an issue with him believing for a plane because they still believing for church vans and cars. Look somebody in the eye and say, God trying to upgrade your dreams. Ain't nobody gonna believe you buying a house. Not them people that's ready.
Right.
You don't need no car. Don't nobody need no car. Like, don't nobody need that many cars.
Yeah.
Somebody say that to me. I had somebody get mad at me the other day. Riding by said, don't get mad at me the other day. Don't call me and tell me, need some money for such and such. This person always find themselves in the bind or whatever. And I said, man, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm going to decline the opportunity to sow this seed. I ain't say I didn't have it. I didn't say I didn't have it. You don't have no fruit coming from you, bro. Every 30 days you calling me for money. So no, I'm crippling you if I keep doing this. No. This is a minister. Everybody. No. I declined the opportunity. Thank you. See, some of y'all would have said, I ain't got it right now. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.